In today's news, questions go unanswered by Social Security Board, and a pregnant woman is the seventh death confirmed in the USVI as a result of COVID-19.
BVI government ministry finds it difficult to verify outstanding invoices. All this and more when 284 News returns.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
A pleasant 284 media welcome to all our viewers. It is Friday, July 24th, 2020. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. Another beautiful day here in the British Virgin Islands.
Viewers, we're going to head straight into our newscast for today, beginning with some concerns coming out of the unemployment relief that is set to be provided by the Social Security Board. Now, viewers, the concerns surrounding payouts from the board are mounting as many questions from the populace as well as the media continues to go unanswered. Now, one of the most recent being a complaint on social media about a resident who, by the way, is supposedly in good standing with her payments being severely under-assisted by the Social Security Board. The post reads, as you can see on the screen, to tell one of your citizens who have paid their taxes after announcing how much millions of dollars they've distributed, that they can only be given $40, that's 40, after waiting 3+ months on a decision, is the biggest insult and the greatest slap in the face. It's best you had keep that. If you walk outside in the BVI, you're spending $40. I love my country, but this cannot work, end of quote. Now, viewers, this is just one of the many complaints received by our newsroom about the inappropriate amounts being allotted, and countless persons are being disqualified, as we know, for various reasons, some of those seemingly very questionable. Now, based on a statement shared with Honorable Vincent Whitley a few weeks ago, over 800 of 7,650 applicants were disqualified from receiving monetary relief under the stimulus. Over 800 viewers. Now, according to him, this was based at that time on persons not being up to date with payments into the system prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, shortly after, a very shocking revelation, once again, we'd like to go to that clip. Honorable Natalia Whitley, our education minister, later revealing that persons will still be assisted. Let's watch.
Persons felt that Social Security could not give unemployment relief if they weren't up to date with their Social Security and NHI. We asked Social Security Board directly, and they said that that is not true. Even persons who are not up to date with their Social Security and their NHI would be able to get an unemployment benefit.
That was just about a week ago. Now, following that, Labor Minister, Honorable Vincent Whitley, updated the public on the Social Security Board's effort to address these claims. Honorable Whitley claimed that prior to COVID-19, regular claims were processed in approximately 1 week. However, following the curfew and the implementation of a new claim system, wait times can now be as much as approximately 1 month. Now, in an attempt to justify the lengthy process of the payouts, he further stated that the process includes reviewing, researching the information to verify and validate claims, and in some cases, calculating the level of unemployment as persons get paid varying amounts from 1 month to the next. Now, viewers, clearly the government is saying one thing on this situation, but that seems to be highly inconsistent with the actions of the Social Security Board. Again, we have made several attempts to reach out to the director of the Social Security Board to quantify these over 800 disqualifications. But again, to this date, our efforts have gone unanswered. At this point, they may not want to speak to us here at 284 Media, but I think without a doubt, and based on these pressing allegations and concerns, I think it's about time that Social Security Board at least host a press conference that can, one, explain why after 4 months of persons being without a job, they're still waiting on some level of assistance, and also, additionally, why their word seems to be so inconsistent in comparison to the government's. Kyla.
All great points, Javon. A lot of rumors have been surfacing about the unemployment benefit program. Our politicians are saying one thing, but then when we hear the complaints of the people, it's another. And as you said before, there's a lot of reasons why persons are not being helped, and some of them are a bit questionable, and we're wondering on what grounds. And all we really want to do is really to speak to the persons in charge so we can really clear this up, because we don't want persons to feel as though there are any bias. And also, we want persons to clearly understand the process. As you spoke about this young lady who the post was for $40. What is the reasoning behind of this?
Right.
What is the figures? There's a lot of questions floating around, and in these times, we definitely don't need that
uncertainty. And just prior to coming onto this newscast, another young man messaging the page asking, pleading with the government to come forward with some type of information as it relates to why he would have applied since June 5th. Another resident being up to date with his payments and not receiving the assistance. And one of the things I want to really piggyback on, because I think even for us as persons who have been able to retain our jobs and not have to face reduced hours or having to lose our jobs, I think we kind of overlook the strain on persons who, by the way, would have been without a job, any form of monetary relief for 4 months, and 4 months after, landlords are still looking for their rent. 4 months after, you still have to deal with your living expenses. Bills are still yet to be paid. Food is there to be provided. Your children has to survive. How then are we so comfortable as a territory not paying attention to these persons and their needs?
Most definitely. And I don't think that this is deliberate, but I do think that in times of uncertainty such as these, we must speak up and have a conversation about what is happening, because it's very unresting for some persons.
For a lot of persons.
For a lot of persons, most definitely. But now as we move on, Honorable Kai Reimer, the Minister of Transportation, Works and Utilities, declared in the House of Assembly that he has met a huge outstanding bill upon taking over this ministry. Now, Minister Reimer explained that his concern is not only with the quantum amount of the bill, but also with the amount of vendors owed. It was revealed that the ministry has outstanding bills dating back to as far back as 5 years. Now, allegedly, this situation has caused serious damage to the government's reputation within the business community. Some vendors have even refused to offer services or products to the government until outstanding balances have been paid. The ministry is having some difficulties verifying a large portion of invoices due to the invoices being outstanding for an extended period of time. Honorable Reimer said, and I quote, "This situation remains quite fluid as the ministry has been contacted by a lot of vendors who are claiming to have provided services for which we have never paid. Again, these claims are more than 5 years old." Minister Reimer assured that although the substantial portion of the outstanding debt has not been yet verified, him and his team will be working feverishly to settle outstanding invoices. Now, thus far, the ministry has been able to verify some portions of the debt and have already issued payments, and another batch of invoices are currently being processed by the ministry, and those payments will be made in a few weeks.
A lot to digest, especially in a time where we are living through a pandemic, but bills must be paid. Our territory has to function on checks and balances, and in order for any territory to effectively function, you have to ensure that bills are being paid even if it's at the government level. The unfortunate reality is a lot of that debt was inherited from the predecessor government, so the National Democratic Party. But when you take up government, it is now your responsibility to ensure that those bills are paid because, like we said, business has to continue.
Business has to continue, and this must be a headache. As you said, it was inherited from the minister before, but here we see Honorable Reimer just trying to clear that up because, as you said, in a time of a pandemic, even more so, persons are looking for payment and some sort of money. But I think what this story really points out is our lack of record keeping. And some persons might not deem that important, but here is a story that is showing us that this is very important. The fact that these invoices cannot be verified is sort of damning to me.
It is, and the minister did mention that at least $1.5 million were verified of the debts owed. So he made a pledge to go ahead and make those payments. I think the Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew Fahie, would have supported this as well. And additionally, we see the minister saying that a report will be made. So hopefully this will take into account all that they would have been able to do. And going forward, a lot of this uncertainty can be alleviated.
Most definitely. Now, viewers, still ahead, Cabinet approves Dean Fahie to serve as the acting managing director of BVI Ports Authority and Mrs. Marietta Headley. She retires after 34 years of service as an educator. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
In the final analysis, we have two options: stay inside and create memories that will last forever, or go outside and say goodbye to those memories. We're not stuck inside, we're safer inside. The time is now to unite, embrace, and love each other from a distance. Show the world and the people in it just how much they mean to you by keeping your distance. It may be difficult, but necessary. Let's reintroduce humanity and heart to all homes. While we can't enjoy the sun, sand, and sea, let's take this time to remember why we are nature's little secrets. Stay inside, and when it's over, we would all be better, stronger, and we would all still be together. With self-discipline and patience, we can overcome. We are, have been, and will always be VI Strong. A message from your team at 284 Media.
I love you, Penny. Run, Forrest, run! Man, I'm sick of being in this house. I just want to go to the beach for all go just one thing and gather to the garden. I'm sick of being in this house.
Having withdrawals from being stuck in the house for so long? Are you tired of looking at your old photos and daydreaming about your next vacation? Well, BVI Staycation is back, and there's so much to choose from. For more information on upcoming deals, follow us on Facebook at BVI Staycation. Get ready, BVI, for an adventure in paradise. It's time to vacation where we live. Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now on we go with the newscast. Mr. Dean Fahie is the new acting managing director of the British Virgin Islands Ports Authority for an initial 3 months beginning July 1st, 2020, as per the BVI Port Authority's Board's Resolution number 52 of 2020. Mr. Fahie comes to the BVI Port Authority with several years of leadership experience and is also well versed in BVI's marine industry. He was the Deputy Commissioner of HM Customs for 7 years, and under his leadership, he was in charge of the enforcement teams with tremendous success. As an entrepreneur, Mr. Fahie has grown a successful charter yacht operation and is very knowledgeable in the sector. Mr. Fahie has been working with the BVI Port Authority for the past 6 months as the Director of Operations and has been part of implementing several new initiatives, including the board's first ever online booking port poll, for both cruise and cargo ships and streamlining of operations at the BVI Port Authority. Now, the chairman of BVI Port Authority, Mr. Kelvin Hodge, said, quote, "The appointment of Mr. Dean Foy will be beneficial at this time to the BVI Port Authority as we strive to transform the BVI Port Authority through present and future expansion plans. He brings a wide array of knowledge, skills, and experience in management and the maritime industry that will be invaluable during this challenging period." He also added that the promotion of Mr. Foy at this juncture will aid in the regional growth and strengthening of our position in the cargo and cruise industry. Mr. Hodge further stated, quote, "On behalf of the Board of Directors, we are pleased to have appointed a member of the BVI Port Authority team and a Virgin Islander as the acting managing director." Definitely big shoes to fill there, Kyla, within a very integral structure as it relates to the management of our waters and the import and export of our products. We see Mr. Dean Foy. I mean, we've heard news about him circulating for the last month or so, but here we see Cabinet formally approving his appointment as the acting managing director of the BVI
We do want to
Port
wish him
Authority.
the best in his capacity. But Javon, as one local and public servant, serve our country in his capacity, one promising
Yes.
public figure is now leaving. Here yesterday, the 23rd of July, the Altair Scotland Primary School said goodbye to graduates of the class of 2020. For this, that afternoon was a day of celebration, but it was also bittersweet as the school also said goodbye to their long-serving principal, Mrs. Marietta Headley. After 10 years, Mrs. Headley hangs up her hat as the principal of the Altair Scotland Primary School. Flax Headley also served as the principal of the Leonora Delville Primary School for 7 years, preceding her years at the Altair Scotland Primary School. She also served as an educator for more than 3 decades, 34 years to be exact, in various capacities. Now, yesterday, Mrs. Flax Headley was bestowed with the Mighty Commendation, which is a high award which is bestowed upon a teacher or principal at the Altair Scotland Primary School. All past recipients either receive this award after retirement or post-homogeneous, which makes Mrs. Flax Headley the only sitting principal to receive this award. Now, the commendation was presented by graduate Tayaja Cameron and the school's PTA president. A post in tribute to Mrs. Headley, which was posted on the school's Facebook page, said, and I quote, "Principal Headley may be retiring from active Strider service this year, but there are a few things that cannot retire with you: your legacy, your inspiration, and your standards. And so today we are here to say thank you for all of those things. But most of all, we want to thank you for you." Now, Jawan, anyone that knows Mrs. Headley knows that she breathes, live, and just everything Strider. That pink and maroon, she definitely had a pride about her school, which that's persons from who have attended, taught, principal of the Altair Scotland Primary School, but she definitely played such a big role at that school.
I agree. I mean, 34 years in public service, 10 years at the Altair Scotland Primary School. I'm sure she left an indelible mark, and like you said, play a very integral and molding role as it relates to the education industry. In addition to that, I love that we're celebrating her, like you know, a lot, like you mentioned, these awards were given to persons post-retirement or even when they died, you know. Unfortunately, here we see Miss Flax Headley receiving her flowers while she is still there, and even before she retired. So I'm very happy to see that. But in addition to that, I love this story, and I love that we're celebrating this woman because she too lends to a generation of women where we are proud to celebrate not just their stalwart work, but their imprint in the community. And as we watched the graduation ceremony yesterday, I was so proud of one of our very own, Miss Rakima Turnbull, who also happened to be the guest speaker of the Altius Catliff Primary School graduation. So overall, just very proud and wanting to say just thank you and congratulations for everything that you guys were able to do.
Most definitely.
Viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but we're coming back with more news.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, you may know his name, but the former Chief Education Officer and historian, Dr. Angel Smith, has returned to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries, and Agriculture to lend his expertise in researching and documenting Virgin Islands history. Now, Permanent Secretary Mrs. Carolyn Stout Igwe said she is pleased to welcome back Dr. Smith to the ministry in his capacity, as there is a need to properly document the territory's history. Mrs. Stout Igwe said, and I quote, "Given Dr. Smith's knowledge, experience, and access to information when he studied in the United Kingdom, I believe that his research project will be greatly beneficial to the territory," end quote. Mrs. Igwe also appealed to persons who are in possession of worthy information that can assist with this project to contact Dr. Smith. She asked for persons who would need to be interviewed to be cooperative so this project can be a success. The research project, titled "The Social, Political, and Economic Development of the Virgin Islands in the 20th Century," is aimed at attaining a holistic understanding of the development of the Virgin Islands in the 20th century. The objectives of this research are to: 1. Collect and analyze documents related to the economic, social, and political development of the Virgin Islands during the 20th century. 2. Interview and document the testimonies of individuals reflecting on their lives and experiences related to key developments in the Virgin Islands during the 20th century. And 3. Chronicle the development of the Virgin Islands in the 20th century and compile profiles of key individuals who made major contributions to the process. Now, Dr. Smith has an extensive educational background, having served as a teacher, guidance counselor, and education officer. He was granted study leave in 2007 to pursue studies in social history research in the United Kingdom. Upon his return to the territory in 2012, Dr. Smith was seconded to the H. Laverty Stout Community College as the director of the Virgin Islands Studies Institute. Now, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries, and Agriculture is adamant in continuing to foster conversations around who we are as Virgin Islanders, with the mission of educating all who come to our shores and call here home.
Certainly, and I love that you mentioned what he's going to be serving as in 3 parts, and based on what I'm seeing there, that's a wealth of information. And I'm hoping too that it can be merged into something maybe in the format of a documentary. But I'm really happy to see overall him coming back to serve within what I would consider to be his field of expertise, because this is who he is, definitely considered one of the culture bearers in the Virgin Islands. And I think this is how you pass the torch on to the next generation.
This is how you pass the torch. And Javon, anyone that knows Dr. Angel Smith, he has a wealth of knowledge. When I tell you a wealth of knowledge about the Virgin Islands, and that's the only way to pass the torch, for us to document our history and get this information from these persons while they are able and they are here. So I am definitely happy to see this project come into fruition, and I would love to see how it turns out.
Definitely. We want to wish him congratulations once again. Viewers, we're going to count down to the end of our newscast with a story coming out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, according to the VI Consortium, the USVI's 7th coronavirus death, which was confirmed by the VI Department of Health yesterday, was a 23-year-old pregnant woman in St. Thomas. 3 people with knowledge of the matter have confirmed to the consortium. Now, the Department of Health has yet to provide information about the deceased. The woman, who was said to be 4 months pregnant and arrived at the Schneider Regional Medical Center in distress, was later pronounced dead. Now, on Wednesday evening, the department reported 16 new cases of the virus, 9 on St. Croix, 7 on St. Thomas, 6 on St. Croix. 6 of the St. Croix cases, were transmitted through close contact, with the other categories of travel and community transmission seeing 1 each. 1 case was also under investigation. Now, on St. Thomas, 4 of the 7 cases were transmitted via community spread. Travel and close contact registered 1 each, and 1 case was under investigation. St. John remained unchanged, at 15 confirmed cases. Now, viewers, currently the Department of Health is tracking 147 active cases in the USVI out of a total of 336 positives. As of Wednesday, 182 had recovered from the virulent disease. According to the Health Department, 54 tests were pending as of yesterday. To date, 7,890 tests have been performed, with 7,500 of them returning negative. Now, through Wednesday, St. Croix had about 98 active cases. St. Thomas had 42, and 7 of the 15 of St. John cases were active as well. Very unfortunate news coming out just across our borders in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Kyla. I mean, as it is, it's hard enough to be losing members of our community to this dreaded virus, the coronavirus that is, but to be losing a woman so young, and you know, it really goes against one of the claims that coronavirus does not affect young people. Clearly, we see here a 23-year-old woman, supposedly very healthy, going into this stress, 4 months pregnant, and I mean, it's recorded as 7. But being that the Department of Health is yet to come forward and confirm the case, persons are still counting it nevertheless as 8. 8 persons would have died to COVID-19 because of the situation with this child.
Wow. Javon, is very, very unfortunate. An unborn child affected by the world that it has not yet seen. And it's so sad. And I think that's why we have to realize more and more every day we're realizing how serious this pandemic is. But this is yet another example of why we should take it very seriously.
Definitely.
And it's definitely very sad, Javon. But viewers, guess what? That is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. Of course, it's always my pleasure. I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And my name is Javon Wilson. We'll be seeing you again next week. Whatever you're doing this weekend, be sure to have a good one. But we'll be here on Monday to deliver more news right here on 284 Media. Have a great weekend, everyone.